Hey everyone, it's Liam, the Deaf Doom MetalHead. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've never been here before, I've noticed I've got quite a few new subscribers, so I thought I'd say hello to those guys. And thank you for checking out my videos. This is a collection update, as the thumbnail tells you. I've been so busy with the band stuff, and birthdays are coming up, Christmases, car insurance, all the normal adult crap that I have to, do during my real life. So record collecting is going to have to put a back foot because we've had the kitchen redecorated, all sorts of boring stuff going on for me anyway. And the wife says, we need to kind of curb the spending to the end of the year, which is fair enough. So I've kind of been bargain hunting on eBay, and some people have sent me some gifts, which is amazing, and I'll get to them, and I'll obviously do the shout outs as I always do, because people need to obviously be thanked in person, which they can't be because of COVID, so I'm doing it through a camera. But I do have a few records here that I've got on the cheap through various sales and pre-orders that technically I probably shouldn't have got, but I couldn't say no to these at all. And I'll get to them obviously as well. So I'll kick off with the records because they're obviously what people like to see the most, me anyway. So this band is an American Death Doom band, and they are brilliant. If you like Morbid Angel Domination era sounding riffs with like atmosphere and that kind of dirgy, stompy doom metal style, these guys are brilliant. And that is Temple of Void. This is their first album that's just been repressed this year through Redefining Darkness Records. Originally came out in 2014 through a label I think called Saw Her Ghost or something like that. Never heard of the label, but it was a small independent label that put this out originally. And this band has just got bigger and bigger since, and it became quite hard to get hold of without paying a small fortune for it. The CD got repressed and also was put on tape, but postage to the UK was like something like 20 quid for a CD. But this, I got up about 3 in the morning to pre-order it. I set an alarm to make sure I got a copy of it, because I knew it'd sell out, and it has. I think the band might have a few copies left, but I got it through Redefining Darkness. And interesting through them, if you go through their site, postage to the UK is less than a tenner. Everywhere else seems to be like 20 quid, 15 quid, then you pay import tax, that kind of thing. I didn't have to pay any import tax on this. It was like £8 postage, and it arrived 4 days, I think it was. Which is crazy considering I've waited like 3 weeks for some of these records, and they're only like 2-hour drive away from where I live. But anyway, I'll get to them in a minute. So this album, like I said, came out in 2014. It's called Of Terror and the Supernatural. It's brilliant Death Doom. But what they've done here with this one, because it's a repress for 2020, they've put in like a nice inlay there with like some notes about the recording process. It goes into detail what gear they used, the label, the artwork, where it came from. Really, really cool. So you've got a good bit of history about the album there. Packaged really nicely. Some brilliant band live shots there, and then the lyrics for each track. And this arrived without any marks on it, no scratches, nothing, and I was really, really impressed. So I'll definitely be buying from that label again, because I was a bit dubious to see what the kind of state it comes in from the States, especially because it's going to take a pasting in the airport. But absolutely immaculate. Both discs different colour, so I went for the kind of like matte colour ones. There was a see-through choice as well. Love those inner labels. So there's a brown one, and it came with plastic sleeves. The works. Normally like you get a record and you get paper sleeves, that kind of thing, and you kind of have to swap them out for your own one. But this turned up. I'm really, really impressed. And if you I think the band have still got a few copies left. So if you wanted to add to your collection, obviously go and check it out, because it's definitely worth your time. And the other one's that green colour there. So I picked them because it goes really well with the album cover artwork. I thought that was a really nice touch. They use those same colours for the vinyl as well. So yeah, go check these guys out. I've probably spoken about them quite a few times on this channel. Like I said, I've got the other two, and the one that came out this year I've got. And also they've been signed to Relapse Records, which is really cool, because Relapse Records are actually quite easy to get hold of. So that won't be a challenge. So anyway, yeah. Moving on. So this one I got a while ago, and I thought I showed in a video, but I hadn't. And I've been listening to it a good 3 or 4 times to try and get into it, because I love the band. And I've pre-ordered the re-release of Draconian Times that's coming out in December, I think it is. And this is the new one they've put out through Nuclear Blast this year, which is obviously Paradise Lost, Obsidian. I've had this a good couple of months now, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. It was a bit of a tough listen at first because it's a very clean production. It has a mixture of all their kind of styles through their discography. So some of the songs sound like the early stuff. Some of the latter songs sound like the more singy, kind of wussy to me, kind of sounding Paradise Lost. But, you know, over time I've actually started to really appreciate it. There's the insides there with the gatefold. So artwork wise, I mean, I got this really cheap off Amazon. I think I may have paid 14 quid for it, something like that. And then it went straight back up to full price again. So, you know, I jumped on it because I thought I'm never going to get that any cheaper. And being in the UK and, you know, calling myself the Death Doom kind of guy, you kind of have to have the new Paradise Lost album in your collection. I've got the new My Dying Bride. So I thought I probably should have the new Paradise Lost. And it is a good album. It's black vinyl. But yeah, I was really impressed with it. It's grown on me a lot. And as I get older, I seem to be opening my mind to new bands. Like the new Ulver album. They're not a black metal band anymore. I thought they were, but they're not. It's like kind of 80s synth pop, and I've actually really enjoyed that as well. So it's kind of shocked myself this year what I've actually been getting into. But yeah, if you've not checked this out, give it a few tries, and I reckon you'll enjoy it. Because, like I say, Draconian Times I pre-ordered. I really like that album. Shades of God I really like, and this one is, you know, just as good as them, nearly. So yeah. So moving on, I'll go on to this one next because this is a fucking awesome album. Pre-ordered this pretty much as soon as I was told it was going to come out. Brilliant Finnish death metal band. The album I have of theirs, which came out I think 2018, fucking phenomenal. If you like, again, it's another Morbid Angel comparison, but if you like the best albums of Morbid Angel, this band pretty much summarise all those albums in one album. So you got like your through A to G, maybe. It's kind of in that vein, you know. It's that style of Morbid Angel, none of the latter crap. And I'm talking about Gorephilia and In the Eye of Nothing. So this came out only like a couple of days ago, and I pre-ordered it literally as it was announced. So I went and hid in the toilet as I normally do for pre-orders, and pre-ordered this. I got the red and black splatter dot thing. There's more pink on this video, but it's definitely dark red. But yeah, this album slays for me. It is really good. And what I didn't know, I was watching, I think his name is Simon Explosive Action, his video. He just showed it this morning. I didn't realise the singer from the last album had committed suicide, so I wasn't aware of that. And you can see in the notes it's dedicated to him. They've just gone down to a 4-piece. They were a 5-piece. Obviously, he was the vocalist. So one of the guitar players apparently has picked up the vocals. I didn't even notice, which is bizarre because normally when you change singer, you would really notice. I think if I listen to it again later on, having known that now, I might, you know, I'll have to compare the two. But this is brilliant. If you like I say, Morbid Angel, I mean, there's some kind of riffs that even sound similar solo-wise, sound like Trey's solos. They're just really fucking good. A really good album, and it came out through MSUO Records, which is based in London. I think also Redefining Darkness or Dark Descent, one of those labels, have done it on the stateside as well. But yeah, really impressed. It's just there's no boring track on it. It just slays. So that was that one. Now there's 6 here. Amazon were doing a sale on Earache. So Earache as a seller were doing their stuff for Amazon. So these aren't Amazon buys. They're through Amazon, but they are sold. They're sent via Earache Records in Nottingham here in the UK. 3 of them I pre-ordered 2 weeks ago. Not pre-ordered. I ordered them 2 weeks ago, and they arrived within like the next day. Week before that, I ordered 3 of these Bolt Thrower albums I'm about to show you, and they've only just arrived today, and that's nearly a good 3 weeks ago. I literally requested a refund this morning, and then the postman brought them round. I was just like, I don't understand that, because I've emailed them like 4 times. I got 1 response, asked to confirm if I've resent it again, nothing. And then literally requested it this morning to get a refund, got my refund, and then they arrived through the door. So I've cancelled the refund because I'm an honest person to a point. And, you know, I feel bad that, you know, record labels, you know, need money, even though Earache probably don't. But, you know, without that label, I wouldn't have these records. So it's kind of a catch-22. Anyway, I was angry this morning and then they fucking turned up, so I can't be angry anymore. But there you go. My friend though, he ordered about 5 and he didn't get anything, so he got his refund and he still didn't get them. So I don't know what happened to his, but he ordered it the same weekend as me as well, which it must have been that weekend. He was just fucked up. But anyway, this one's the 4th Crusade, my favourite Bolt Thrower album. Love this album. Streamed it, MP3'd it for years and years and years. 10 quid on Amazon. I'm having that. 4th Crusade title track, brilliant. Dying Creed. This Time It's War. You know, fucking awesome album. Ritual, the lot, the artwork as well. Classic. And for 10 quid, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna not buy that. And Metal Mickey is totally responsible for me buying these because he told me about the sale. And being the weak man that I am, I caved instantly. On top of that, I also got this one, which I've listened to for years and years and years again, and you know, never bought it. And CDs of this cost a fortune, but that's for Victory. Probably their best sounding album, maybe. Not too sure. I mean, I like them all, but this one's got probably the best riffs on it, maybe. Apart from the 4th Crusade, that's the best riff for me. But then that's more of a doomy kind of track, so that's probably why. But yeah, fucking awesome album. Loads of people have heard this, so I don't really need to go into detail about it. But yeah, brilliant, brilliant album. And then this, that was also a tenner. And then this one was only like 8 quid. And I thought that was quite nice having a collection. And that is the John Peel Earache Sessions. Yeah, brilliant. Really nice early stuff. I mean, the recordings on this are 88 and 90. So I wasn't even born in 88. And I was 1 year old on the 1990 recordings, so that's quite funny. But yeah, this is brilliant. I love that raw sound, you know, when you hear a band naturally how they used to sound. And the inlay is pretty cool. It's got the artwork on there, picture of the band, like a little collage kind of thing. So yeah, really happy to have these now at last, because I mean, like I say, I ordered these 3 weeks ago, cancelled it because I got fucked off, you know, waiting, trying to email them. I'll do that later. But yeah, no responses. I mean, I still haven't got a response to say they even resent it, but then they turned up this morning through special track delivery, so fuck knows what happened there. But the ones that did order and arrived the next day, I was very happy with. And again, these are all really cheap, like 10 quid, 11 quid. Morbid Angels, Formulas Fatal to the Flesh. Love this album. Obviously very different from the early stuff, because Gateways, I think, is probably the better album of the two. With Steve Tucker on vocals. There's 4 now, isn't there? This one is really riffy, and I really like this one. This came out on white vinyl, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it's like white vinyl. It's quite nice. Again, didn't pay much for double LP. You're paying like, I think, 10 quid I got for this. I just kind of watched it on my wish list, kind of dropped down in price from like 15 quid, 13 quid, and it was a tenner. So I jumped on it. So yeah, really, really happy to have that. Put that down there. And then this one, my favourite death metal album of all time. Everyone knows about that. I have the original pressing on CD, but this is a 2019 repressing on vinyl. Again, 10 quid, fucking steal. I nearly got the limited 100 green vinyl years ago, and I never did buy it, and I regret it. So for 10 quid to have it on black vinyl, I'm happy with that. I'm not that fussed. I've got the original pressing on CD that came out in 1995, I think it was. So, you know, totally happy to just have that. So yeah, love that album. Everyone knows that album. Best song on there, Where the Slime Lives, Dominate. Brilliant. And again, this one was really cheap. Not my favourite Morbid Angel album, probably my 4th favourite maybe. Too thrashy for me. I mean, I like it, obviously. I love it, but it's not. I like that really heavy, chuggy Morbid Angel. And that's Altars of Madness. Probably a lot of people's favourite Morbid Angel. But interestingly, I put these two on Instagram, and Domination got over 400 likes. It's only got about 170, so it kind of speaks volumes of what people prefer. But this is a brilliant album either way. And again, I didn't pay hardly anything for it, and it's, you know, it's required in a death metal collection. You have this album. Yeah, I love the artwork as well. Dan Seagrave, I think it is, isn't it? Brilliant, brilliant album. Gatefold there with a picture of the boys. So yeah, brilliant. So that's all the records. Now the CDs. So thank you for putting up with this so far. This one I got really cheap from eBay. Again, not in my collection. I really want it on record to have the artwork and all that kind of thing, because it's, you know, one of my favourite albums from the teens. and that is Celtic Frost's To Mega Therion. Paid like £2.50 for this. This is a repress from 1999 through Modern Music. Obviously it came out in like 1985. But yeah, classic Celtic Frost. You know, it's probably my favourite Celtic Frost album. I mean, the artwork alone is what really inspired me to listen to it as a teenager anyway. And that's how I discovered H.R. Geiger and all that kind of thing. And I love his artwork. But yeah, this is a brilliant album. Everyone knows about that one as well. And then I got these two on eBay. Again, the UK seller was selling them really cheap, but they're not easy to get hold of in the UK. Germany, I imagine they're really easy to get hold of. And that is the German death metal band Debauchery. I got both of these for £5 each. So this one's Continue the Kill and Torture Pit. This one comes with a DVD. I think also that one does have like a bonus video on it, but you have to use your PC to watch it. But these are brilliant. If you don't know who Debauchery are, they are what they are now anyway. So they're like really ultra aggressive, brutal death metal. And then over time, they kind of sound like 6 Feet Under, like early 6 Feet Under. And then as they've gone on, they've kind of gone into that AC/DC death metal, death and roll kind of sound. And they're really fun. They're just a really fun death metal band. I mean, like the imagery alone probably tells people, "Ooh, that's a bit too serious for me." They're really not. I mean, the song titles are hilarious. Like you've got Coming and Killing, Carnival Carnage, Gore Obsessed Murderers. You know, silly little titles like that. War and Glory, Guts and Gore. I mean, the first song I heard of theirs was Chainsaw Masturbation, and I thought that was hilarious, and I've been a fan of theirs ever since. But they do all sorts of different styles. I mean, I believe the singer was a teacher, and then the school found out what he was into, doing all this kind of shit, and they got rid of him. I don't know how true that is, but it's just a fun band, and like I say, it's got lots of groovy rock and roll kind of inspired riffs to it, especially the newer stuff. It's a lot less extreme blasty stuff like this is. It's more in the old school Back in Black kind of sound, but death metal, if you can picture that. This one I really like. It's got Slayer's Angel of Death cover on it, and he does it really well. The vocals are really good. The riffing is spot on. There's no cheat to get round a solo kind of thing. It's, to the letter. Yeah, they're both brilliant albums. I was really happy to get them for £5 each because they're really good. So yeah, check out Debauchery. They are fun. This one I got a little while ago, and I thought I'd shown it, and I hadn't. Norwegian Death and Doom. Kind of funeral doomy in some parts, but more death and doom. This is the band Funeral, and the album From These Wounds. If you haven't heard of Funeral before, I've mentioned these quite a few times. They're Norwegian, been around since the early 90s. They've had some members commit suicide, ironically, even though the music is about that kind of thing anyway. So it makes you wonder, what headspace they were in when they were doing these songs. But this is a brilliant band. Really strong. Came out through Taboo Recordings. I don't know when it came out, a while ago. But they're a brilliant band. Melody-wise, they write really good riffs, and I know they recorded in the UK, the same place, ironically, Mark's band Enchantment recorded. I think it was not Priory Studios. I can't remember the name of the studio, but it's the one Enchantment recorded at My Dying Bride. All them lot, they recorded there, so they kind of had that 90s British death doom sound as well in their guitar work on the early ones. This has got way more like orchestral stuff in it, but it's really good. And then this one was another one. This is a Chile based death doom band. I don't think they're together anymore. Came out on Seasons of Mist a while ago, but they are really good, and I can't pronounce the band name. I've tried so many times, so I'm going to show it there, and I'll put it down here because I'm shit at pronouncing band names, as everyone knows. But this is a really good album. Again, this has got loads going on in it, orchestral stuff. It's epic, heavy. So they kind of do the Death Doom thing where they kind of take it up a notch with just loads of stuff going on. And it's a really good album. I always get these confused with Morgorian because the album cover looks similar to theirs. Obviously it's not, but the colour scheme, and they both start with M. I always forget about these guys. But I ironically have both albums by each band now, so quite happy with that. So that's them. And then this one, was an interesting story because I went on Discogs and I filtered it down to, you know, my want list being only in the UK, searched by the cheapest, and then this one came up, and this is not easy to get hold of for 10 quid, put it that way. And that is the debut from November's Doom. I'll take it out of the case because you won't see it, the light. This is Amid Its Hallowed Mirth, I think it is. This is a re-release. The album art previously looks totally different to this, but I was talking to Adam about this, who watches my videos, and he did say this obviously fits the song structure and the album theme way better than the original artwork. Obviously, I'd love the original artwork because it cost a fortune if you have a copy of that CD. There's a picture of Paul there. I mean, he looks nothing like that now. I mean, at one point, he was really, really fat, and he's just lost all that weight. And it's quite scary when you see him now. Like, it's not even the same guy anymore. But if you don't know who November's Doom are, they're an American based. I think they're based in Chicago or Seattle, one of the two. They're kind of like on par with like My Dying Bride, but they're the American version of it. So they kind of do the same sort of style, same sort of thing. But you know, they're very different in their own right. And I love the band. I absolutely love November's Doom. Big inspiration in Consecration. I know other members of the band are big fans of them as well, like Shane and people like that. Dan, he's a big fan of November's Doom. George, I don't know if Andy is, but he might be. But this one came out on End Records in 2008 as a repress. This includes demos, what they call I think it's a Scabs demo. Yeah, Scabs demo, which was recorded in 1990. And it's really cool because it's really raw and you can hear it all, and it's like original sound, which is really cool. But their style of Death Doom doesn't sound nothing like this anymore. This is all guttural from Paul with a bit of clean vocal in it. There's some operatic female vocals in here, but it's all very mid-paced, stompy, really heavy and aggressive. And obviously later in their career, they've completely changed that and kind of moved away from that style. There's elements of it still there, but this is why I really like this album, because it's just pure, raw and aggressive, slow Death Doom, which I love. So that was that one. Ironically, the person who sold me that on Discogs was a friend of mine. I didn't even realise it. And he kind of messaged me back saying, "Oh, hi Liam, I haven't spoken to you in a while." I mean, he's a singer in a very, very good death metal band here in the UK called Profundis. He sent me a patch as well. Consecration, my band, I've played with his band. I think we've probably supported Profundis or been on the same bill as them as probably more than any other band in the 10 years we've been going. To memory, I mean, I know it must be at least 5 or 6 times we've played together, and they're so different from us. They're not doomy at all. They've got elements of it, but now they're like technical death metal, and they're one of those bands when you watch the musicians, you're like, for fuck's sake, you don't want to play your guitar anymore. Like Paul, Shoy, and Aaron, I think it is the bass player. They're all fucking phenomenal musicians, like fucking amazing musicians. Aaron, the bass player especially, is ridiculous. He plays a fretless bass. I'll leave a link to some of their stuff below in the video because it's just ridiculous. They're so talented, and they played in all sorts of different projects. And yeah, when you kind of have local bands like that and you kind of watch them and go, how are you that good? And you're not like on a major label touring around the world, you know, because they're just phenomenal. And the albums he sent me, he kind of gifted them to me in a way I just paid for postage. And the debut there, which came out self-released in 2007. I know Consecration played with these guys on the 2nd or 3rd album when we first met them, and we played with them ever since, you know, random gigs, festivals, you name it, they're on it. The last Valenfire show they were on support with us as well. But he sent me this album, it's one of my favourites. The second album he also gifted me, but it didn't come with a case, which is this one, a Bleak Reflection. Brilliant album, really, really good. My favourite of theirs by far. It's just a shame it hasn't got a case, but it doesn't matter. It lives in there with the first one. But he also sent me this one, Kingdom of Blind. A bit more proggy and techie on this one, and then obviously the newest one is way more technical. This one came out through Wicker Man Recordings in 2015. They're really, really good, and I do recommend you check them out because they're a bit unknown to some people, but when you listen to them, you think, fuck me, they're like Obscura, that, you know, that kind of vein. They're right up there with those guys. And they're really, really good. So definitely check out Profundis. They are a brilliant band and really nice guys as well. Obviously, Craig, thank you for sending me those. And then these 3 CDs came from a little man called Gordon in Ireland. He always watches videos. Mark's mentioned him before because he sent gifts to him before. He's a lovely bloke, really good bloke, good sense of humour. He messaged me on Instagram and said, I've got a CD I want to send you. Do you mind if I send it to you? And I was like, of course not. You know, why would I mind you sending me CDs? That's amazing. And anyone who sent me music before is fucking awesome. I love it. And he sent me 3 CDs, not just one, which I kind of presumed he was going to do anyway, because he wouldn't just send 1 CD. If he did, I don't mind, but 3 CDs is a lot to me. So I kind of got my own back, and I sent him out of my own pocket some of our band merch, because I can't give away Consecration merch as much as I want to. You know, it's a band, so you kind of have to dip into the band pot and then sort it out that way. So I've sent him some gifts in return. But these albums are amazing, and I'm well chuffed he sent them. The one he mentioned, I'll go with that one first, is a Finnish traditional doom band called Reverend Bazaar. This is their debut, I believe. Really, really good album. Never had the time to sit down and really take these guys in, because it's very much, you can't just nip out in the car and put this on, because each song is about 10 minutes long. So with doom bands, you kind of have to sit down like I am now. If I'm working or, you know, doing YouTube stuff, I'll have that on in the background and I'll listen to it. And I did that the other day when they came in the post, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's traditional Sabbath, if you like Black Sabbath. I mean, he's wearing a fucking Black Sabbath t-shirt on the band photo. But yeah, pretty much like that. If you like Sabbath, you'll like Reverend Bazaar. There's no question. Really heavy, really stonery doom in some regards as well, I guess, with the fuzzy kind of sound, but definitely more in the traditional vein, with the clean singing. There's no growly stuff, that kind of thing. There's the odd growl here and there. I guess being Finnish, they have to kind of slip it in there. But yeah, brilliant album. I really enjoyed it. And then he sent me this one, which to me, I haven't got any in my back catalogue, and they're one of my favourite black metal bands, and always been on my want list to kind of pick up CDs when I can. I always forget. So he sent me this one, and that is Emperor, Anthems to Welkin to Dusk, at Dusk even. Yeah, brilliant. This is a Candlelight one from 97. I fucking love Emperor. Ishan is an amazing guitarist, so is Samuth. They've got some brilliant side projects. And I really like this album, and I completely forgot all about it. And then he sent that, and I kind of looked at it and went, oh yeah, I really want that. So I'm well happy to have that in my collection. It's got some brilliant riffs on there. And this one was completely unknown to me, and I put it on, and fuck me, it literally melted my ears for how heavy it is. It's ridiculous. I had that on really loud when I listened to this, because I kept turning it up because it sounded better the louder you went. And this is a compilation of 2 LPs put into 1 CD, and that's a Finnish traditional doom band again, the Puritan, more in the stonery doom kind of vein almost, but fuck me, is this heavy, like really, really heavy. The riffs are ridiculous. It's got that beautiful kind of fuzz crunch sound, so it doesn't sound like really farty and muffly. It's got that very nice bite to it, and you can hear the valve amps being driven really hot. If you guitar play, you know what I mean. It's ridiculous how heavy this is. I think it was the first LP, track 4, the sepulchral god holding a speech for the moribund. Got no idea why they have to have song titles that long, but this is the tits. Honestly, it's so heavy. And it came out through Spike Farm Records, so the LPs are separate and they're quite hard to find. I found one on Discogs, so I might treat myself to, but I've kind of got the CDs. I don't really know if I should or not. But yeah, this is fucking heavy as fuck. So thank you, Gordon, so much for that. They're all brilliant, but that one impressed me the most just by purely not knowing who they were. And yeah, it roasted my ears off. It was that heavy. And the last one is probably the longest video I've done in a long time. Is a local band in Yorkshire. They're from Leeds. They are up and coming band, I guess. I think they've been around for years in various side projects and stuff like that. But I listened to this EP on Spotify a little while ago, and Bandcamp Friday came up just recently, and I thought, you know, I'm going to buy that now. And that is the band Green Sabre. This is their EP Numb. Traditional doom. There's no growly stuff in there. There's the kind of angry sounding voice almost in some parts, but it's really well sung. Chris, who's the guy I think behind all the whole thing, he does vocals and guitar work. Brilliant band. And it's got my buddy Gaz in there, who I'm friends with on Facebook. He's a doom connoisseur, he knows his stuff. But yeah, They're a really, really good band. If you like that kind of traditional doom, where it builds, it's got brilliant melodies, it's not fast in your face, it's just right, good heavy riffs, go check these guys out and support them, because they're definitely worth your time. This was done in 2019, December. Recorded at Lancaster Musicians Co-op, so I didn't realise you could do albums at the Co-op, which is like a supermarket here in the UK. I don't think it's quite the same as that, but that would be quite funny to try and record an album in a Co-op. But there you go, Green Sabre, go check them out, they're fucking awesome. So thank you for sticking with me through this really long update, but I thought I need to get it all out now, because, you know, collection updates are fun and I love watching them. So thank you again to Gordon for sending me those CDs, they're fucking awesome, and I hope you enjoy your consecration gifts, and please don't drive while listening to that album. And also thanks to Craig for the Deep Profundis stuff. Like, again, check them out, they're fucking awesome. And until then, I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.